What's going on, Knicks fans? Welcome to another episode of Knicks Latest. We're bringing you the latest in New York Knicks news, headlines, rumors, all that good stuff for our favorite basketball team, the New York Knicks. Make sure to like the video, make sure to subscribe, make sure to drop a comment on what you think is going to happen for the rest of the offseason for our New York Knicks. All right, let's get into it. Listen, this is the type of show where we're just going to hit on speculation. Probably going to do this for the next couple weeks. I'm not going to lie on this channel. There's not much going on. Rosters have pretty much been filled. There are some trade rumors. I don't even know if I would go as far and say they're rumors. There are people playing around with a trade machine. I'll say that. Trying to make deals that are possible for teams that might need things. Trying to match salaries. Trying to play NBA GM. I think that's just a fun way to talk about the Knicks and the different possibilities that could be of this roster. Sports Illustrated, Bleacher Report, Heavy.com, these are all sites that are heavy into these hypothetical trades. They seem... It's just a fun way, I think, to talk about the Knicks. It's a good way to talk about the Knicks and what could be going into the season. With that said, I want to get into an article I saw today, actually. A trade proposal, a 3-team trade proposal between the Hawks, the Knicks, and the Blazers that would send Karl-Anthony Towns to the Portland Trail Blazers. The Knicks in return would get Drew Holiday, Robert Williams, and a first-round draft pick. Daddier would also go to Portland. The Hawks would receive a member of the Portland Trail Blazers, so that would be the whole 3-team deal. Not sure why, if I'm being honest with you, the Hawks would do that. I don't understand why the Knicks would do it either. I know that there's been a lot of speculation about breaking up this core, and I think I'm going to revolve this episode around that. You have a core of the 3 that could be traded: Bridges, Anunoby, Hart, and Cat. So the 4 that could be traded, the 4 that have been linked to the trading block. And it seems like there are a lot of people out there who are hell-bent on breaking this core up. I think it's dumb. You essentially have a team that was 2 games away from going to the NBA Finals, from winning the Eastern Conference. Just a few adjustments here or there. You finish out Game 1. Who knows what that series looks like? You beat a Boston Celtics team in 6, a team that everybody was crowning NBA champions once again, a team that nobody gave a shot to the Knicks against in the second round of the playoffs. I don't think there needs to be large adjustments here to this roster. Now, if there are large adjustments to the roster, I don't think trading Karl-Anthony Towns for an aging point guard is a good idea. This came from the Atlanta Hawks site of Sports Illustrated. I don't know why they think that the Knicks would want to trade one of the more prolific big men in the league, scoring-wise at least, for a point guard who, yes, has won championships, but who is on the backside of his career. Yes, he is a defensive anchor, but he's also on the backside of his career. He's not as talented. He's not an all-NBA talent like Karl-Anthony Towns is. Something like this would make no sense to me. I understand that there are some trades out there that could probably make some sense. We talked about one yesterday where Mikal Bridges goes to the Los Angeles Lakers for Austin Reeves. Not that I would do that, but you're replacing a player relatively the same position with relatively the same role. They would be different, of course. Austin Reeves isn't the anchor that Mikal Bridges is, but you still put him in the same position. He has a role on offense that you can just plug and play. With this, you're talking about starting Drew Holiday and Jalen Brunson as your backcourt. You know, those are 2 point guards. I understand that Drew played with Derek White last year. I understand that the Celtics made it work, but that's just not something I'm comfortable watching with the Knicks, right? Now, I understand the whole thought process where it's like, okay, you have Jalen Brunson, let's surround him with perimeter defenders and just defenders in general. That was the blueprint of the first iteration of the New York Knicks, right? Before the Karl-Anthony Towns trade, it was Jalen Brunson, let's surround him with tough defenders. You had players like DiVincenzo who can guard. Julius Randle, when he wanted to, he can be tough. Mitchell Robinson. Quentin Grimes is one of the best point of attack defenders at his position. You had Isaiah Hartenstein who could protect the rim. That was the formula before we traded for Karl-Anthony Towns. I don't think it's a bad formula. I just don't think this is the way to go back to that formula. If you're going to trade Karl-Anthony Towns, you better trade him away for the best piece you're getting back shouldn't just be Jrue Holiday, is my point. And that's no disrespect to Jrue. I know Robert Williams would be included in this trade, but we already have a Mitchell Robinson, and Robert Williams has been hurt his whole career. So that's somebody who I don't think could come in and help right away either. It just doesn't seem like this is the type of deal. I appreciate what they're trying to do here. I understand this is the offseason. I understand we're making desperate Hail Marys for moves or trades that we think could help our team. In this situation, the Hawks would get Diop Reith, who I think is a solid player, but I don't understand why you think two teams would move heaven and earth so you can do that. Just a weird trade. I'll leave it at that. Just a really weird trade, a really weird thought process. Again, I am in favor of let's keep this core together. Right? 2 games away from going to the finals. Let's keep this core together. A new head coach who could probably address the downfalls of the other head coach that we used to have. A new head coach that could make this offense click in the way that we know it could click. A new head coach who could probably use our 2 best players on offense at the same time rather than going back and forth with each other. And use someone like a Mikal Bridges more often than he was used last year, make him more comfortable. I am willing to start the season out seeing how Mike Brown uses this roster and what they look like in the first half of the year before the trade deadline. I vote we go forward with this team to start the season. Now, the trade deadline might be something different. I know that the Knicks are not looking to extend Mikal Bridges right away, and I understand that. That could be someone who is used as a trade piece. It's looking more and more like he's going to be the guy who goes if this core is broken up, which is sad to see. You spent all this draft equity on him for a year and a half if he does go by the trade deadline. But if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And I don't mind moving off something that doesn't work right away. But I do think you should be giving this a fair chance. So just to recap this trade, doesn't make sense to me at all. I don't think the Knicks would do this. I don't think the Hawks would do this. And I don't think, the Blazers would do this. So, who says no exercise? I think the Knicks say no. And I think you say no too, as a Knicks fan. Listen, I'm going to be scouring the internet for these type of trades. If you see one, send it my way at Josh_Rodriguez_ on Twitter. Definitely want to go over them if you want my opinion on these. It's a long off season. We're going to be here for another month speculating before the preseason starts who's going to be traded, if anybody's going to be traded. Again, last year, the Karl-Anthony Towns trade happened right before the regular season started. So it is possible that this could happen. We don't know the inner workings of Leon Rose. I don't have sources like that. So this is not the type of channel where you can come on here and I'll say, sources say, no, it's not me. Just here to talk about the Knicks. Love the Knicks. They're my favorite team. Let's talk about how they can get better, what the possibilities are, all that good stuff. Pablo Prigioni, rumored to be not headed to New York, but the Knicks have their eye on him as an assistant coach. That's pretty cool. Pablo, somebody who played for the Knicks during the Melo era, somebody who came overseas to play for the Knicks, was a solid point guard, one of my favorite players during that era, unselfish, knew how to move the rock, high IQ, has been an assistant coach for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Let's be honest here, we don't really know how to evaluate assistant coaches as fans, even as your most hardcore fans. We don't have a background on assistant coaches and their schemes. Right? We know Pablo's there for a reason. We know he has a high IQ. For me, I love seeing old Knicks back at the Garden, right? During the playoffs, whenever Starks, Ewing, Sprewell, when they're all there, it feels good. It feels like one big family. Of course, I would want someone who used to play for the New York Knicks back on the squad. That would be great. Love Pablo. I'm sure he has a great offensive mind. He's somebody I think who can mentor Jalen Brunson. Not that he needs mentoring, but somebody who can help him out, maybe even like a Deuce McBride. Solid point guard for his whole career. Smart point guard his whole career. He's somebody who I would welcome back with open arms if he were to be an addition to the Mike Brown staff. All right, now listen. Again, subscribe, like, drop a comment. We're going to be going over trade rumors, all that good stuff. Like I said, if you see something on the internet, you could drop it in the comment box, or you can simply just at me at Twitter at Josh_Rodriguez_, and I'll give you my opinion on it. It's a really, really slow time for the NBA right now. Summer League just ended. Free agency's almost done. The only people who are left are restricted free agents who are most likely going to resign with the teams that they were on to begin with. And the Knicks don't have any money anyway to throw these guys. They do have enough money to send somebody a vet minimum. We talked about a Jordan Goodwin. We talked about maybe bringing back Landry Shamet. We talked about Ben Simmons ad nauseum. So we'll see what they do there. But let me know in the comment section if there's a trade out there. Maybe you can be the source. Maybe next episode I'll take trade ideas from you. And what we can do is go over those together. That'd be fun. So drop a trade in the comment section below. Let me know if there's a trade out there for a Cat or a Bridges or an Anunoby or a Josh Hart that you could see happening. We're not trading Jalen Brunson. Don't throw any of those things out there. But anything of those 4 players right there, if you think there's a trade out there that you think could work, that you think could benefit the Knicks, drop it in the comment section below. I'll comment on it. And we'll do this for a couple weeks now, and if there's real news out there, we're going to report it. Not going to do that to you guys. But I'm also not going to lie to you guys and say that, this could actually happen. Send me the trades. We'll have a good time. Let's do this. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you drop a comment in the comment section below. I'll see you tomorrow for an episode of Knicks Latest. Peace.